welcome back to Betty. I'm your host, Cynthia Thompson. Do I have a treat for you today? My guest for my show is the program director for The Relatives. Now, you may be wondering, what exactly is The Relatives? Well, at the end of the show, you're going to know everything that they have to offer for our young people here in the Charlotte area. Thank you for joining me today, Mr. Joe.
Thank you for having me, Cynthia.
Well, I'm so glad you're here. So tell us the first question, what is The Relatives?
Well, first of all, The Relatives is a treat. It is the only youth shelter in Mecklenburg County as we speak, unfortunately, I must say. But The Relatives is an incorporated program within Mecklenburg County, and we help kids in crisis. We have a number of shows, excuse me, a number of programs that we have throughout the community to help out kids and early adulthoods as well.
So the main goal for The Relatives, if I understand what you're saying, is for a safe place for teenagers and young adults to go to?
Yes. The Relatives, our main goal is keeping kids safe and families together. So
what's the age range for these people that can come and stay at The Relatives?
Okay. Well, within the Relatives, like I said, there's 3 programs. There's the Relatives Crisis Center located on East Boulevard. There's the On Rent program that's located at our Uptown office at the Children Family Services Center. And then there's our newest program, which is Journey Place, and that's located off South Tryon Street, but that's in a home. But at the Relatives Crisis Center, we serve kids ages 7 to 17.
And that's the one on East Boulevard?
That's the one on East Boulevard, right.
And so what are some of the reasons why young people would want to come and stay there?
They can come to us just for about anything. But for the most part, they come to us for if they have ran away from home, unfortunately if they ran away from abuse. But more so ever, with the economic turn in the last year and a half, they come to us because they are homeless, because the families are homeless.
Oh, so you get to house the teenagers.
Right.
So this separates the family because
it separates the family only temporarily, but we like to provide a sense of normalcy for the children as they come to our home. But you know, mom may be staying at the Salvation Army, dad may be staying at the Uptown Men's Shelter, but the children are staying with us. However, we're wrapping services around the whole family.
Oh, I see. So about how many people can stay at your location on East Boulevard? At
The Relatives, we have a total of 9 beds. However, every child or person does not have to stay at The Relatives when they come. We have walk-in services that they can just come in, walk in, talk with a counselor, go over some issues that they might have, and then they can be on their way and go back home as well.
So at The Relatives, is it a co-ed location?
Yes, it's
so you have a boy side and a girl side?
Yes, ma'am. Sure do.
You know, we're going to take a short break, and when we come back, I'm going to ask you about some of the other things that you offer. You had mentioned a few, but we're going to talk about them in more depth, okay?
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
Okay.
Explore new worlds. Read. Visit literacy.gov and let the journey begin.
Hey, Luis, did you know that you're Elmo's plan?
Your plan?
Yeah, Elmo's mommy said that if Elmo is too sick to go to school, the plan is that Elmo stays with Luisa Maria.
Oh, yes, we have that plan all in place.
Great!
You never know when your child will be too sick to go to school. So have a plan ready so your child can stay home and get healthy.
Luis is the man, because he's Elmo's plan. The man, because he's Elmo's plan.
To learn more about preventing flu, visit flu.gov.
So, do you have any questions?
What is your soup of the day?
Oh, how's that cooked?
Is it grilled? Can I have it steamed?
So, what do you recommend?
Any questions?
For the 10 questions everyone should know, go to ahrq.gov.
Hey, welcome back to Better You. I'm your host, Cynthia Thompson. I'm sitting here with Mr. Joe, and he was just telling us briefly about The Relatives. And from what I understand, you offer so many things, not only a place for them to stay, but a place for them to receive counseling too. So let's talk about those different things. You said you had a 24-hour crisis hotline.
Right,
What
right.
exactly is that?
And it's just what it says. It's a 24-hour crisis hotline where anyone, not just children, can call in if they are seeking some type of help. Our main goal is to resource these people out into the community to help them out, whether that being help with their bills, all the way down to, I need to know where to go to get bus tickets, stuff like that. But for the main part, it's for anybody in crisis. So when a young person calls and says, I have nowhere to go, my mom kicked me out the house, they can definitely give us a call, and we can direct them to us. We can show them how to get to us, or even go get them.
What is your crisis hotline number?
Our crisis hotline number right now is 704-377-0602. And you can call that number 24 hours, 365 days.
And who answers those phone calls?
We have on-call staff at the shelter 24 hours a day. We have staff there.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes, ma'am.
So you mentioned also that you have a walk-in crisis support. What
Yes.
exactly is that, and what kind of things do you help people with?
Right. Well, walk-ins can, like I said, can consist of just about anything. It can go from, I'm having some trouble with my daughter and I need somebody to talk to. So come on to the relatives and we'll sit down, we'll talk, we'll work out a plan, we'll learn how to move forward. And then we'll even follow up with you through our aftercare services. So we try to cover all the bases. Or it could be just a plain, I want to come and volunteer. Or I don't know how to tell, my mom or my dad that, I'm homosexual. Can you help me do that? And that's when we sort of become the mediators in that situation, so everybody can be on the same page.
You have another program there. You have quite a few.
Oh, yeah.
It's called the Aftercare Services.
Right.
What is that? For after school?
No, actually, aftercare is, on an average, we serve residentially at the relatives almost 300 children. And as they come through our facility, we want to make sure that when they leave, they went to someplace safe, first of all.
Right.
But for the most part, we want to make sure that through their issues that, they're still working through them. So we follow up with them all the way up to a year after they leave our relatives.
That's a good thing, to make sure that they're on the right track.
Right. And if they need to come back, we welcome them.
You have one more. It's called Parent Support. So what, do you help the parents raise their kids?
Right.
Is that what that is?
Not necessarily. What we try to do is a lot of people ask us, what do you do? And, when we tell them what we do, they'll say things like, oh, you work with bad kids. And we let them know, no, the kids are not bad. Well, how is it that you guys are so successful? What we use is a love and logic model. And logic, that's our model of care. And love and logic teaches us how to, let things go over your head and not worry about it. Use a concrete ear. Keep a right tone, but for the most part, don't make somebody else's problem your own. You understand what I'm saying? So us as counselors, we adopted that model, and so we felt it would be great to share that with our parents. So now we offer free parenting classes to anybody, for that matter, and absolutely free. And they're actually amazing classes, and they are held every third Saturday at the Children Family Services Center. From 9:30 to 5. It's a full day class, and they receive a certificate. Of course, we feed them, but it's just giving them some light into how to deal with some of the behaviors that they go through with their children.
What are some of the type of parenting classes that you have?
Well, Love and Logic in itself is the whole class.
So you teach them that.
Yeah, that's the whole model, which is pretty amazing.
And so you told us that class is offered every Saturday?
Every third Saturday.
Every third Saturday.
Every third Saturday of every other month. However, in May, we just had it in May, so our next class will be in July.
In July.
Yes, ma'am.
So if someone wanted to know about the relatives, how would they find out? Do you have a website?
Yes, we do. They can go to www.therelatives.org, or they can call our crisis hotline as well. Also, every fourth Friday of the month, we have what we call a Lunch and Learn tour. And so we invite volunteers or anybody that would like to know a little bit more about the relatives. It's from 12 to 1. And you come in and we provide lunch for you, and we tell you what we do, why we do it, how we do it, and give you a tour of our beautiful house over there, because it's a big, beautiful home in Dilworth.
So the parenting classes, are they free? Is there no cost?
Absolutely free. There's no cost.
That is good to know.
Yeah, and all they have to do is call and sign up.
We're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, I want us to talk about another program that you offer, which I think is a pretty good program because we talked about it earlier. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
I want to see the world.
When you pick up a book,
I used to read every night to all the younger kids,
and let your imagination break free, you won't believe how much fun it can be.
Let down your house!
Experience a world of adventure, excitement, and endless possibilities. Get tangled up in a good book. Explore new worlds. Read. Visit read.gov today.
Tommy's a really good kid. My Tommy would never even think about trying alcohol. Isn't that right, sweetie?
Real kids are curious about alcohol. 40% try it by the 8th grade. Talk early, talk often, get others involved.
Welcome back to Better You. I'm your host, Cynthia Thompson. I'm here with Mr. Joe, and he shared me all this information about the relatives. This has been a well-kept secret.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think a lot of people know about all the services that you offer.
No.
So I'm so glad you came here with us. I want you to share with us one of your great programs that you have. All of them are good, but this one I think is far the best. It's called the On-Ramp program. What is that?
Well, you heard about I told you about the Relatives Crisis Center.
Right.
Through the years, the relatives, they served ages 7 to 17. However, you know, we found that gap with that 17-year-old who was about to turn 18, sometimes didn't have anywhere to go, or at the same time didn't have the life skills to transition into adulthood.
Right.
So 2 years ago, we hooked up with a MechLink and came about this pilot program, On-Ramp. And it was actually there to serve about 8 to 10, young adults to see how we can transition them into adulthood. But 2 years later, we're almost up around 300.
300?
Right. Now, On-Ramp is a drop-in resource center. It is located at the Children Family Services Center uptown, and it's on the 4th floor. And teens or young adults, like we call them, from ages 16 to 24, can just come there and talk to a transition specialist to work out what they want to do as they transition to adulthood. There are laptops, computers there for them to get on for job searching. There is counselors on hand, transition specialists, like I said, on hand to talk to one-on-one, to work out a plan for their adult life as well. Among other things, they teach them how to go down and secure a license, or to get an ID, or to get secure their birth certificate. Small things like that. And then they go into what they want to do with themselves. So some want to, they want to go to school. So the On-Ramp program, they help them get into college, or help them finish up their GED or their diplomas and stuff like that. Or some want to get a job and they want to do something. So that's what we're there for, to help them do these things. And all they have to do is just show up. Just show up.
You're just waiting there for them.
And we're waiting there for you. Sometimes you don't even have to come there to look for a job. You can come and just get out the heat, get out the cold, and come get on Facebook, check your Facebook status. We'd rather have you there than out there,
That's true.
Not safe as well. And then we also let them know to bring your friends along, bring your friends along.
Good. You have another program you just reminded me of earlier while we were on break called the Journey Place. What is the Journey Place?
Journey Place is, I like to call it our bread and butter. I like to call it our trophy, because the Relatives has been around since 1974, serving our community.
Really?
Yes, ma'am. However, we've only had the Crisis Center. But then when I just talked to you about On-Ramp, I thought that was awesome. But then last year, we took on Journey Place, which was amazing. And Journey Place is literally a home. It's a house with bedrooms and, a driveway, everything that you would have in a house. And it's for 6 young men who have aged out of foster care. Yes, ma'am. But it's a program like no other. We partnered with Youth and Family Services to have these 6 young men who have pretty much grown up in foster care almost all their life. However, unfortunately, they just didn't have some of the life skills to move on into their own apartment, or just ready for adulthood. The ages range from 18 to 21, so that's our adult program. But these young men, they stay at Journey Place, and it's their home. They come and go as they please. They have their own way in and out. As staff, we act as just like residential advisors as you would as a college dorm. So we're not telling them, oh, you need to do this, you need to do that. Just like I'm an adult, you're an adult, we treat them like they're an adult. What we are there is program mentors. So if they come to us and they say, hey, I don't know how to wash my clothes, or I don't know how to cook this meal, or I need to learn how to, dress for an interview and stuff like that. But the sole purpose is to get them ready for independence. So within 18 months, which they can stay there, we want them to transition into their own apartment. But when they do that, we want to make sure they know what to do while they have that apartment, So it's getting them ready for adulthood.
I often wonder what happens to kids that's been in foster care all of their lives.
Right,
so this is another avenue for them.
Yeah, and it's like I said, it's nothing like it, especially in the county right now. But I would say sometimes, somewhat throughout the nation, as to where the freedom and we don't want it to be a group home feel at any way. We want them to know that that's their home, and we're just there to help them. And that's what they've been doing, and it's been great. It opened last October with 6 young men, and they're striving. The criteria for them to be there is either they're in school or they have a job. So out of the 6 young men, 4 of them have a job now.
That's good.
And so they're learning how to hit that alarm clock button, getting up. They're learning how to, make sure they're catching a bus on time. We take them out and show them different apartments. We take them car shopping, show them what they can have, and that, this is motivation to them. And we just show them how to live and be happy and breathe a little bit. So.
Sounds like you all do a lot more than what I thought you did when we first started talking.
Right.
How do you do it all? I'm sure you only have a small staff.
Right.
So do you have people to volunteer and help you?
Yes, we have a lot of volunteer base. Over 200 volunteers come through the relatives yearly to help out. And that's just the volunteers individually. We also have different organizations that come by and help us out with the upkeep of the house and making sure that we have what we need. And it's very generous and special that they can come through. We have a program at the Relatives Crisis Center that's started off as somewhat of a joke about 4 years ago, but it turned into a reality, and it's called Dinner with the Relatives. That's what we kind of named it back then, because volunteers would come and bring dinner for the young people. And we actually turned it into an actual program now. So now we have almost every day of the month a different volunteer, and they can bring their family. You can come on down and volunteer as well. They can bring their family, and what they do is they provide meals for the young people on a monthly basis. So every day, like today as we speak, there's a volunteer at the house providing dinner for the kids.
Really?
Pretty cool for the staff because they don't have to cook, but it's very special because as on a monthly basis, they get to see different kids as well.
So they can come and bring anything they want, and bring their family members too.
Bring their family members as well, and fellowship.
What are some other things that volunteers can do? Do they allowed to work with the children?
It depends on what it is and what program. I know we are in definitely search of program mentors for the on-ramp. For our resource center, for people to come in, and because there's so many that comes in, we want to match them up with different, mentors to help them along their road to becoming an adult. But volunteer opportunities are very wide open. You can access our website to see, or you can definitely give us a call and participate in that every fourth Friday luncheon. That's where we usually get all of our volunteers from.
The fourth Friday.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm gonna have to remember that, so I can come by and have lunch and see and really see what's going on.
We would love to have you. I think you would be very pleased.
I have a few more questions for you, but before we get to them, we're going to take a short break and come back. Okay?
Sounds good.
All right.
Coming home can be hard if you're a veteran of Iraq or Afghanistan. You may feel like you're all alone, but you're not alone. At IAVA.org, your fellow vets are all around you. Join our free online community, get the resources you need, and connect to other vets who know where you're coming from. IAVA.org. We've got your back.
I'm home. Over 1 million Americans at risk of foreclosure have been helped by making home affordable. Find out now what your options are.
Home where I belong.
Welcome back to Better You. I'm your host, Cynthia Thompson. I'm here with Mr. Joe. Now, you told me all about the programs that you have to offer and volunteers that can help.
Right.
In order to run a house, you need stuff.
Right.
Do you all have a wish list of things that you just need?
Oh yeah. Just a couple to name for a wish list is some of our children come with just the clothes on their backs. So we want to make sure that they have everything that they need. So we ask that people, when you do traveling and you get the little hotel soaps and shampoos, and we always don't even use them because we bring our own stuff. Take that stuff. You paid your money for them.
You got that right.
And donate them to the relatives because we want to give them their individual packs. We don't want them sharing big old bottles of soap or shampoo and stuff. But we always need underwear, socks. Like I said, toiletries is one of the biggest things that we accept all the time. But we do accept donations all the time. But yeah, and our wish list is located on our website as well.
I have a couple more questions for you. If by chance I was a teenager and I was in trouble, is there a sign or something to tell me where I could go for help?
Oh yes. Our outreach efforts in the county of Mecklenburg have been just extremely phenomenal over the past 4 or 5 years. And our outreach initiative is through our organization, Safe Place. A Safe Place is a yellow and black universal sign that tells, and we go out and we let teens or children know, or people know, like yourself, what these signs mean. You're wearing your sticker, I'm wearing my sticker. I actually have a sign right here.
Okay, let's see your sign.
Right. And if you've seen these signs around Mecklenburg County, the relatives, we are the people who put these signs up. Yeah. Right now, we have been nationally recognized as the Safe Place program to mirror in North Carolina through National Safe Place. National Safe Place started out in Louisville, Kentucky back in 1983, and it started through the YMCA shelter house. A guy wanted to know how can children know that they had a safe place to go to, and so he wanted to make it universal, which was an awesome idea. The Relatives was actually one of the first Safe Place programs nationally. Since then, we have actually enlightened our Safe Place efforts, our outreach to the community. Right now, we have over 400 Safe Place sites in Mecklenburg County.
And where are these sites at?
Well, 300 of those 400 are all of our CATS, buses and light rails. CATS is one of our biggest Safe Place partners. Yeah. So every bus, every light rail displays this yellow and black sign on it. And so that means if a child is in any type of trouble, crisis for that matter, all the bus drivers and light rail drivers are trained to know if that child enters on their vehicle to get them to the relatives, whether that be put them on another bus or get them to another Safe Place site. All of our Bojangles are Safe Places in Mecklenburg County.
Really?
All of our YMCAs, all of our park and recreations. We have quite a few churches that are safe places, and a couple of Chick-fil-A's, South End, Chick-fil-A, South Park Mall are safe place sites as well that they can go to get help that they need. And it's real simple. We go out and we train all of these safe place sites to know that if a young person enters their establishment and needs help, all they need to do is pick up the phone and give us a call.
Wow.
You can't forget the firehouses as well.
There's a fire station.
The fire stations are all safe places.
You have given us a lot of information. Now I want to ask, can you tell us a quick, good story about a teenager that came by the Relatives and what has happened to him now?
Wow, it's so many, but I know one that comes to my mind right away. It was a guy named Robert who was running away from an abusive situation, and he actually was out in Lincolnton. And his dad would get drunk and beat up him and his mom. So finally they both, left, and they found themselves, homeless on Charlotte streets. Robert was only 16, but what happened was they found the Salvation Army, and the Salvation Army told mom about the Relatives. So Robert came to the relatives. You know, he was very shy at first and kind of scary. All he wanted to do was protect his mom and stuff like that. However, when he came to the relatives, we kind of gave him a little bit of life to worry about, to ask him, you know, what is it that he wanted to do with himself in life? And he said he wanted to work security. You know, he wanted to own his own security business. That's what he wanted to be security for the stars, was what he first said. However, Robert stayed with us for 2 weeks, and then he left, stayed at the church with his mom for a week or so, and then he came back, stayed with us for another 2 weeks until we worked with them to get them a home. I tell that story because Robert's confidence now, he's 21 years old, and he actually owns his own security business.
Oh my God.
So they were able to stay in Charlotte. We were able to get him in school. We were able to get him that confidence. And just last year, Robert, I was his best man at his wedding.
Oh.
So, you know, that's a story that just sticks with me forever. And he calls me periodically, and you know, he hit the weights and he's gotten all big, and he really does have his own security business now.
Well, I need to find him. I might need some security.
I'll let him know. Got him on speed dial, you know. But he's doing well. His mom is doing well, and his wife. But you know, if he wouldn't have came to the relatives, you know, I don't think he would have been able to have, you know, some of the confidence that he had. Because basically, when you come to the relatives, there's no judging. We don't judge you. We don't, you know, if you came in and you've done something, you've done it. Now it's time to move forward and talk about a plan to move forward, and that's just that.
Thank you so much for coming today, Mr. Joe. I've learned so much. And you know what? We're going to have to partner together so we can get maybe some of your youth here to talk about some teen topics and things that they're going through.
That would be awesome.
Okay.
That would be awesome. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. I want to thank each and every one of you for joining me here today at A Better You. I hope you learned a lot about what the services that the Relatives offers the community here in Charlotte, North Carolina. And I want to thank each and every one of you for watching my show, A Better You, every Wednesday night at 6 p.m. here on Public Access 21. Gosh, thank you so much. Let me shake your hand.
Yes,
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.